today. And man, I hope you came ready to learn. For those of y'all that don't know me, hopefully by the end of this call, that we have tonight, you'll get a chance to really understand why I'm so excited, why I've been so fired up, really over probably the last 12 to 18 months, because there's some special things that are happening. But just really quick, I just want to make a show of hands. If you guys can see me and hear me clearly, put a 1 in the chat. I just want to make sure, put a 1 in the chat if you guys can hear me and see me clearly. All right, we got some ones. We see some ones. All right, good deal. Good deal. So for those of y'all that know me, my name is Justin. I've been an entrepreneur since I was 18. I am now 37 years old. I know some of y'all looking at me, man, like you still look like you're 30. You're looking like in your 18s, but I'm not. Yeah, I've got a daughter. She's 12. And literally, man, what I've been able to do pretty much the last, I don't know, decade plus is being able to travel the world and teach people about money, about finances, and really about opportunities that really have changed people's lives dramatically. And tonight is no different. We're going to talk about something I personally believe is a game changer. One of the things that's really helped me to do really well in business is the ability to be able to recognize opportunities, and primarily before the masses really take advantage of them. That's what we're going to be talking about tonight. And so I want you all to come here ready to learn. We can actually go ahead and pull up the rules, because we're going to talk about a couple things today, but I just want to go over the rules really quick of what we're going to discuss here tonight, so that you all are prepared. But also some things that, we don't really allow. So I want to make sure. So number one is just, man, look, I want you to play full out, right? This is one of the things where, look, get a chance for the next, 30, 35, 40 minutes or so, eliminate all distractions, right? Like, this is not the time to be on social media. This is the time to be locked in. Take notes. There's going to be a lot of information that we're going to be talking about. This is going to be education. I really want you to understand what it is that you're looking at. And look, no negativity. I already told my team, look, if anybody's doing anything, you're spamming in the chats, saying anything negatively in the chat, it's not going to last for long, because you'll be out of here immediately. So just don't, Audrey, she's on the back end. She just don't play that. So just don't try her. You know what I'm saying? If you do it, that means you're trying her. She don't take well to that. All right. But look, make sure you use the chat. We're going to be communicating a lot. I'm going to be asking questions. I'm going to be getting your feedback on a lot of things. And look, you want to make sure you stay until the end. And let me say something. I want to share this last part is, how many of us have, made money and you've done really well, but then there was nobody around you really doing well, right? So I wanted to have this opportunity, probably for like the next 30 seconds or so. Anybody that you want to see win with you, right? I want you to go ahead and share the Zoom link out to them. Like, hey, look, I need you to jump on this. I want you to take a look at this, because I'm telling y'all, this is literally an opportunity where you're going to get a chance to show people how to be a part of something before the masses are going. And when I say career, this isn't, just some business opportunity. This isn't some side hustle. This isn't just some type of affiliate program. This is actually a real career that you're going to be able to embark upon and really dominate. I'm talking about at least for the next 8 to 9 years at minimum, right? And so we're really excited about that. So we're gonna take about 30 seconds to do that. Now, while you're doing that, before we jump into what we're going to be talking about tonight, I want to share y'all just, really some of the stories that have already happened already. We soft launched this program about a week ago, but we rolled out the soft launch of it. Well, we officially launched about a week ago, and some change. Actually, been a little while now. But then we soft launched it, and I want you to see some of the stories that just happened since the soft launch. And so if you can, go ahead and pull that up. I'm gonna log in from my phone too, so I can make sure I see all of your comments here on the screen as well. Let me make sure I log in on my phone. But do me a favor, where are you zooming in from? Drop it in the chat while they're pulling that up. I want you all to see that. It's actually on the slides. It was the next screen on the slides. But let me pull this up on my Zoom. 1 second, so I can make sure I can see everybody's comments. South Carolina, I see you. Snellville, okay, what's going on? Torrance, California, Texas, London, South Africa, Maryland, Acworth, Texas. I'm in Alpharetta, Georgia, so we're gonna go ahead and check in for Alpharetta, Georgia. Grayson, Georgia, I see you. Testimony. Next. All right, I see y'all everywhere. Okay, from Jamaica, Decatur, All right, good deal. Louisiana's in the house. Torrance, California's in the house. All right, so we got people really from all over. So welcome to the call. And RJ, it was on the slide. It was on the same exact slide that you were on. Miami, San Diego. Welcome. So yeah, if you go back to the PowerPoint, you'll see that there. Benton Harbor, Michigan. Good stuff. I do not see the slides. I see the video. Up on the screen. I cannot see the slides. Can you guys, unless it's for me, can you all see the slides? I just see a video. Okay, I didn't see slides. Okay. Yeah, that's the slide, but I don't see it on the screen. It's just on me now. So if we could pull that up. McDonald's in the building, Austin, Texas, Detroit. There we go. Now I can see it. All right, good deal. So these are just some of the testimonies. This is my guy Landon. He's actually in Houston, Texas. You all see that he actually just screenshotted me one of his checks. He said, "My belief is through the roof." So this is actually his first check on the program that you see here. Pam, she's out of New York. She was able to save her first customer over $130 a month on their bill. We'll talk about that. Samari was able to put some money in her pocket. In his pocket, and was able to save their cousin over $60. And then we got Cullen here, and he's been blowing up. You all will probably get a chance to see his story a little bit later. But he's been able to have 18 to 25 CRCs, and y'all see that estimated anywhere from 50 to 70 in income that's already approved, but he's got some more coming. How many of y'all like those numbers? How many of y'all would like to see what it is and how they've been able to do it? If you want to see that, put a one in the chat. All right, if you want to see that, put a one in the chat. Like I said, this is going to be a different call. I'm sure you all are used to getting on webinars, and you know, at the end, people got this crazy like little. This is not that. So if you came to this call, I had people DMing me. Somebody was like, "Hey, I want to know what it is before I get on." I say, "Listen, but maybe you don't want to get on yet because this isn't that, and so we want to explain it to you." So let's go ahead and dive into it. I want to talk about what I personally believe has been the best kept secret in business. We're actually going to be talking about the fastest growing the sector in business. That's the energy sector. A lot of y'all are going to learn a lot of things tonight. I didn't know that much about solar. If you knew anything about solar or you're familiar with solar before getting on this call, put a one in the chat. And if you don't really know that much, like my awareness was I saw it on people's homes. And I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. If you don't know that much, put a two in the chat. I just want to know who I'm talking to. So if you know a lot, put a one. If you don't know that much, like me, put a two in the chat. All right, good deal. Yep, I see a lot of twos. So a lot of y'all were like me. All right, so this was an entirely different world that I was not familiar with either. Now, let me put you all at ease on what we're going to be talking about today. This conversation today, should you decide, hey man, I see it for myself and I see it making sense. You're not going to have to be good at recruiting. Okay. That is not the conversation that you're going to have to be really, really good at here. Okay. I tell people you don't have to be a sales master. You'll see that here on the slides. All right. You don't have to be a sales master. There's no high pressure sales. We take an educational approach. You're not going to have any experience. We're going to teach you. Okay. You're going to get a chance to really earn while you learn. You get a chance to build a career, and you're going to get a chance to help clients save some money. How many people know somebody right now that wants to save some money in their life? Just put a one in the chat. If you want to know somebody who want to save some money, all right? If you know them intimately, put a two in the chat. All right. So I want to, right? And so I know me, if I want to, and I've accomplished some pretty good things in my life. There's a lot of people that want to do that. Now, there's two questions I want you to answer. All right, because I want you to just see if you can follow. You know, sometimes my mind is a little bit different than most people, but I just want to see if what I talk about tonight really makes sense. I asked people two questions, right? Because after I researched this industry, this is what my revelation was. I asked people this. Number one, how many homeowners do you know that have an electricity bill? Just type that in the chat. How many homeowners do you know that have an electricity bill? And listen, remember I said I need everybody to play full out, right? Everybody play full out. So y'all be engaged. We're going to be talking, okay? The faster y'all respond, the faster we get to the next point. All right. Somebody said lots of. All right. Let me ask the question again. How many homeowners do you know that have an electricity bill? There you go, Frederick. All of them. All right. Can we agree on that? Everybody that owns a home has an electricity bill. Matter of fact, everybody that rents a home has an electricity bill. Let's just say that, okay? Let's just agree that all of them have it, right? Now, here's my next question. When do people ever pay off their electricity bill? When do people? Never. All right, so follow me here. We're going to be talking about a product that every homeowner, for what we're talking about today, you have to be a homeowner. All right, so that's going to be your ideal client. Okay, every homeowner has it, and they never even thought about the idea of paying it off. The thought has never even been in their head that I could actually never have an electricity bill. All right, if that's exciting to you, put a wow in the chat. Right, if that's exciting, you put a wow in the chat. Right. And for those of y'all that didn't want to type it, right, just spell wow backwards, right? I said, man, wow, that's pretty interesting. So now it's not high pressure sales. Now check this out. I love this quote right here. Warren Buffett said that energy deregulation will be the largest transfer of wealth in history. In history, ladies and gentlemen. Now I don't know about you all, but Buffett has a pretty good track record with me. All right, if you would agree with that, put a 7 in the chat. If you're like, hey, look, my man kind of knows what he's talking about. Now look, because I had some people like, oh, I don't know, Justin, I don't know about this solar thing. I said, okay, that's cool. No problem. Warren Buffett said, y'all know what I'm saying? Like, I appreciate you, but Warren Buffett said that this will be the largest transfer of wealth in history. Now I don't know about y'all, but if I had to choose between the person's bank account that said that to me and Warren Buffett, I'm just going, who y'all gonna go with? You just type friend or Buffett, right? Just type friend or Buffett. Which one you going with? I thought that was pretty amazing. The largest transfer of wealth. Let me tell you what I saw about this quote that's really powerful. He said it was gonna be the largest transfer of wealth. See, the key word to me was transfer. Why? Because if for something to transfer, it has to already exist. Does that make sense? If that makes sense, put a yes in the chat. It has to already exist. Like if you want to transfer from your savings account to your checking account, the money has to already be there. And so when we say a transfer, that means this is money that is already being spent, but there's going to be a transfer of it. If y'all want to be a part of that transfer that's happening, put some dollar signs in the chat. I'm going to change it up for y'all a little bit. Y'all getting a little comfortable with these 1s and 7s and stuff, right? I said, man, okay, this is special. Of course, y'all are familiar with Gary Vee. He said, look, when it comes to professional opportunities, this is the best time in human history to really be alive. And so, all right, Justin, what are we going to talk about today? We're going to talk about a couple things. We're going to talk about the residential solar industry, who we are, our solutions, our model, and how to get started. So pause right here. Let me tell you something. I've been a part of a lot of different businesses. I've invested in a lot of different businesses. Some have gone well. Some haven't gone that great. Some have gone amazing. And so through that experience over the last, 15 plus years that I've been an entrepreneur, there's some things that I look for in anything before I get involved in, right? If it's okay for me to share it with you, just put share in the chat. I just want to share with you what I look for in any business, in any opportunity, in any investment at this point from my experience, all right? There's a couple things, and as we go through this, I just want you to ask yourself, do you see it here? All right. If you see it here, if you get some chills during this conversation, if you see like, man, I want to be a part of this type of community, man, you're going to be fired up to be a part of what we're doing. And if you look at this, you're like, I don't know. I didn't really see it. Then, hey, no problem. Hopefully you learn some things about an incredible space that can be powerful. All right. There's a couple things I look for. Number one, products and services. Do they make sense? I just want you to write that down. Remember I said, I need you to have a notepad. Be locked in. Products and services, do they make sense? The second thing I look for is timing. Now, there's 2 different types of time. Really, it's 3 different types of timing. Number one, timing in the marketplace. How many of you all know that you can be too early for an opportunity? All right. Has anybody here ever been too early? If you've been too early before, put a 1 in the chat. All right. Timing is important. Sometimes you can be too early to the party. It could be the best idea, but you were just a couple years too early. And then by the time it got good, you were burnt out. Now, you can also be too late to the party, right? If you've been too late to the party, put an I in the chat, right? Just, hey, I've been too late. Maybe you overthought it, right? Maybe you just doing too much. It's like, okay, all right, man. By the time I made the decision, I missed it, all right? But then there's the perfect time. So here's what I want y'all to understand. The timing of this is really, really important because we're not in the days of where I have to jump on this call and say, hey guys, we've got this solar panel and it's going to convert energy from the sun into your house. And you're like, really? Does it really do that? We're past the days of does a solar panel work? Does that make sense? We're past those days. The proof of concept has already been there. So second thing I look for is timing. The third thing I look for is leadership. The leadership has got to be in place. I've seen incredible opportunities with bad leadership and it just goes down the drain. Why? Because everything rises and falls on leadership. And then the last thing I look at is compensation. I'm a busy person. I've got a lot of things going on. The money has to be there. If the money has to be there for you, just drop some sevens in the chat. If you're like, hey man, I'm with you on that. The money's got to be there. It's got to be exciting enough for me to when I get out here and go do some work. So I would just want you to ask yourself through this entire conversation, does this make sense to you? And does it check these boxes? All right. So let's jump into the industry. Timing, right? Really, really important. Now, I want you to take a look at this. Right now, there are 130 million homes plugged into the grid. They're using not clean. They're using non-renewable energy. So it's not clean energy, right? Using fossil fuels. Well, there are 86 million homes, ladies and gentlemen, that qualify for what we call zero down solar. I'll explain that in just a little while. But there are 4 million homes that qualify for it. If you think 86 million is a lot of homes, just drop an 86 in the chat. Like, yep, that's a lot. I think it's a lot, right? When I saw that, I said, man, this is a huge opportunity. Now, this specifically, I know we have people internationally on here. This is a U.S.-based opportunity at this point. And so, listen, if you have a network of customers, we can actually teach you how to market in the United States. This would be a great opportunity for you. But specifically right now, I want to talk to people that have a U.S. base of customers, right? A U.S. base of network for you to really be able to capitalize on this. Now, look, 130 million homes are plugged into the grid. How many of y'all have heard about the grid being overloaded? Maybe if you look, maybe if you saw the grid go down a couple times over the last couple of years in some of these states, right? We've heard about the grid being overloaded, being outdated. They have to make upgrades to the grids. This is why this is really, really important. Okay. Now, what's the forecast of the industry? There's a couple things. Over the last year, solar saw a 40% growth. Okay. But right now, this is an industry that projecting is well over $450 billion already. Electricity. Let me share this with you. Over the next 5 years, starting this year and over the next 5 years, they're expecting the solar industry to double every year for the next 5 years. I'm going to say that again. Every year for the next 5 years, they're expecting the industry to double. Remember when I talked about timing? So when you hear that, when is the timing? Is it later or is it now? If it's now, put it now in the chat. If you think it's later, put it later in the chat. Which one is it? Is the time? It's going to double every year for the next 5 years, starting this year. So when are we talking about? So I'm not on here talking to you about something that, hey guys, in 5 years, in 10 years, this is going to be big. No. I'm talking about now. I'm talking about something that is happening today that if you understand it, is going to change the game. Now, what are 3 things that's driving that growth? There's 3 things that's driving it. You ready? Number 1, Congress recently passed an extension of the solar investment tax credit. What that does is it gives homeowners a 30% tax credit off for the next, really, 9 years, right? 9.5 years, right? It ends in 2032. So it's actually about 8 years. All right. So we got actually about 9.5, 8 years left on that. Okay. The second thing that's driving it is zero down solar. Listen, pay attention to this part right here. This is one of the biggest game changers, something called zero down solar. Here's the thing about solar. Solar is like any other technology. When it first came out, it was really, really expensive. It had less functionality, very much similar to like cell phones. Cell phones used to be really, really, really expensive, and they do way less than what they do today, right? But guess what? Times change. Here's what used to happen. If I was sitting down with you as a customer maybe 10, 15 years ago, I would talk to you about solar. I would talk to you about how I can save you some money in the future. But I would say, hey, by the way, Mr. Customer, you're going to have to put down $10,000. You're going to have to put down $15,000. Well, now the program, if a homeowner qualifies for it, is zero down solar. This is why everybody has now really entertained it, because now I can talk to a customer about electricity and they put zero down. We tell people it's really just a redirection of the money that you're spending on your electricity bill. You literally go from renting something that you never pay off, which most people are doing today, to something that you own. And then here's the third thing that's driving solar growth. The cost of electricity is going up. Listen, if your electricity bill has gone up over the last 3 to 5 years, just put a 1 in the chat. Just put a 1. If it's gone up, just put a 1 in the chat. Like, yep, I feel it. Look. Audrey, she's on the back, and she said, listen, her bill is double. Just over the last, I think it was 2 years. Just doubled, just over the last 2 years. This is something that everybody is feeling. And let me share something with you. It's not going away. It is going to continue to go up. Right? Inflation was really the highest it's been in a long time. right? It's talking about 7.8%. The average cost of electricity over the last 2 years has been over 14.3% increase. Let me share something with you. That's more than what most people are making on their investment portfolios. So most people's electricity bill has gone up more than their investments. Okay? If you think that's a problem, type me in the chat. That's a huge deal. And it's not slowing down. Pretty much every major utility in the United States, I don't know where you live, type in the name of your utility on Google and say the name of your utility, price increases. And I promise you, they already have 1, 2, or maybe 3 scheduled for this year. I live in Georgia. Georgia Power had, 2 or 3 rate increases last year. And it's not stopping. All right, so let's talk about the pros and cons of solar. I want to educate you on this right now, okay? This is really important for you to get. So what are some of the disadvantages of electricity? Number one is that it's expensive and the costs keep going up. The other thing is that you're renting it. We talked about that, right? You're renting it, and the cost is always going to change, right? And like, listen, when you rent something, when do you ever stop paying for it? Never. The other thing is you have no option, right? Check this out. If you get a bill or you don't agree with your utility company about the bill that you get, the service that you're getting, what options do you have? If they send you a bill for $500, what do you got to do? Somebody type it in the chat. Your electricity company sends you a bill for $500. What do you got to do? Somebody tell me in the chat. What has to happen? You got to pay it. Adrian said, I got to pay it. I have no choice. I've got to pay it. You got to either pay it or make payment arrangements. How many of y'all know what I'm talking about, right? That's literally it. Let's say y'all know what happened the other day with AT&T, all the phone line went out. Guess what happens? If I have AT&T and I don't like the service, then I can now go to who? Somebody tell me in the chat. Who can I go to? If I don't like AT&T, I can go where? Xfinity? Xfinity got cell phones? I didn't know that. All right, Verizon. Let's go. Let's start off with Verizon. Okay, all right. Hey, all right. Shout out to Xfinity. They probably using somebody else's network. Though. We're gonna talk about that. All right, Xfinity Mobile. All right, we check them out. All right, but I don't know if I would go from AT&T to Xfinity Mobile. But we'll talk about it. All right, we'll talk about it later. y'all threw a little different one out there. All right, good deal. All right, good deal. So AT&T, so right. But electricity, you can't really go anywhere. All right. So benefits of solar. You get a chance to save money on your utility bill. You get fixed energy costs. You don't have to worry about it. Depending on, we have different programs, right? But the ones where you get a chance to own it, you don't have to worry about the costs going up. All right, you get a chance to own it. Here's something I really like. Zillow did a study. Oh, my man said they're on Verizon's network. All right, get that. I had somebody thank you. I appreciate y'all helping me with that because I was like, wait a minute, what? Now, here's the other thing about it. Zillow just recently did a study that said when a homeowner goes solar, on average, their home value goes up by 4.1% to 10%. If y'all think that's big, just type big in the chat. I thought that was huge. That's big. Immediately? That's huge. If you own a home, I add this to my home, and my home value immediately goes up 4.1 to 10%. Now check this out. Let me show you why this makes sense. Think about it. If you're looking at 2 homes, right? One of them doesn't have solar. The other one has solar. The one with solar, the system is included in the house cost. When you get the house, you don't have an electricity bill. This house, you like it the same way, but you're going to have an electricity bill. Which house are you choosing? Y'all tell me, the one with solar with no electricity bill or the one without solar? So just say solar or no solar. Tell me which one. Which one you choosing? The one with solar. Why? Because I'm saving money. I love the house, but man, do you know what you could do with your electricity bill if you paid it, if you invested that money every single month?